Hello everyone, and this is basically Deobrata here. So, in our previous lecture, we had discussed the from class 12 mathematics, the vector algebra, and in the today's class we will cover here the three-dimensional geometry from class 12. So, we now cover here the topics that the system of coordinates, direction cosine, and direction ratio of a line, lines, the plane, line, and plane, and the number of questions are coming in the entrance exam like JEE Main from this topic. That number of questions in JEE Main, they are very important topic, 3 or 4, and JEE Advanced 3 questions from these chapters. So I just clarify one thing is that we here now cover the chapter summary in a nutshell and do the previous year problem coming in the JEE Main Advanced. Let's get started. So the first of one is that the three-dimensional geometry. Okay, so here that number one, distance formula. Distance formula, that means a point A defined by A is a point defined by x1, y1, z1, and B is another point defined by x2, y2, and the z2. So the distance of AB, this is nothing but the square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. The section formula number 2. Section formula, that means if P divide join of AB in the ratio m is to n, P, suppose this one divide this ratio, this is a point A and the B, divide with the m is to n, A coordinate x1 y1 z1 and B coordinate x2 y2 z2, then the point P would become mx2 plus nx1, similar as the 2D. Here only z is include m plus n m y2 plus n y1 divided by m plus n, and the m z2 plus n z1 is divided by m plus n, and the midpoint would become x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2, and the z1 plus z2 divided by 2. This would become the midpoint. Next, the direction cosine, very important. The direction cosine, that means if alpha, beta, gamma are the angle of a given directed line makes with a positive direction, that means suppose this is origin and the clockwise xyz, here is a point whose coordinate xyz, making angle with x-axis alpha, y-axis beta, and z-axis gamma. Then the direction cosine x would become r cos alpha, and y r cos beta, and this z would become r cos gamma. That means the cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma, that is equal to 1. Next, the direction ratio. Direction ratio. That means direction ratio is defined LMN. Okay, that means the cos alpha, that is equal to A divided by square root of A square plus B square plus C square. And the cos beta, that is B divided by square root of A square plus B square plus C square. And the cos gamma, that is this C is divided by square root of A square plus B square plus C square. Next, angle between two lines. Number 5. If theta is an angle between two lines whose direction cosine are L1, M1, N1 and L2, M2, N2. That means the cos theta equal to L1, L2 plus M1, M2 plus N1, N2. Okay. And the two conditions here, that number 1, lines are parallel. Lines are parallel. That is L1 by L2 equal to M1 by M2 equal to N1 by N2. And lines are perpendicular. That is L1, L2, summation of linear combination should be vanish, plus M1, M2 plus N1, N2, that is equal to 0. These are the two conditions. Next, number 6. If the direction ratio are direction ratio are A1, B1, C1 and A2, B2, C2, then the cos theta, that is the plus minus A1, A2 plus B1, B2 plus C1, C2 divided by square root of A1 square plus B1 square plus C1 square into square root of A2 square plus B2 square plus C2 square. Next, lines are parallel. Conditions. Lines are parallel, that means A1 by A2, that is equal to B1 divided by B2, that is equal to C1 divided by C2. Next, the lines are perpendicular, that is A1 A2 plus B1 B2 plus C1 C2, that is equal to 0. These are the two conditions of the direction ratio. Next, go ahead. Straight line in a space 3D. Number 1. Vector equation. Vector equation, that means vector equation passing through position vector R1 and parallel to vector M. Suppose this is origin. This is a vector M. Okay. And parallel to this vector, suppose this is A and the P, this is the R. Okay. And that is the R1. And this is the constant into M, lambda. This is Suppose one vector is m. Parallel of this vector would be some constant into m. Okay. So I just write the full vector equation. Passing through position vector r1 and parallel to vector m, that is equal to r vector is equal to r1 plus lambda m. This would be the equation. Number 2, the Cartesian form, very important. Cartesian form, that suppose a point P, coordinate x1, y1, z1. So the Cartesian form would become x minus x1 divided by a. That is the y minus y1 divided by b. That is z minus z1 divided by c. ABC are the direction ratio. Line passing through 2 points. Line passing through 2 points. Line passing through 2 points. Position vector is r1 and r2. R1 and R2. That would become R equal to 1 minus lambda into R1 plus lambda R2. This is the equation. And the Cartesian form here, Cartesian form, suppose the 2 point A, x1, y1, z1 and the B, x2, y2, z2. So it would become x minus x1 divided by x2 minus x1, that is equal to y minus y1 divided by y2 minus y1, that is equal to z minus z1 divided by z2 minus z1. This would be the Cartesian form. Angle between two lines. Next. Angle between two lines. Let equation of the given line, suppose R is equal to R1 plus lambda m1, 1, and the another, that is the R equal to R2 plus lambda into m2. Then the angle cos theta would become m1 dot m2 divided by mod of m1 into mod of m2. And the Cartesian form, this is the vector form, okay? This is the vector form. And the Cartesian form, basically the vector form. Cartesian form. Cartesian form would become, suppose two line in this form, x minus x1 by a1, y minus y1 b1, z minus z1 by c1, and the another x minus x2 by a2, y minus y2 divided by b2, z minus z2 divided by c2. Then the angle cosine of theta, that would become a1 a2 plus b1 b2 plus c1 c2 divided by square root of a1 square b1 square c1 square into square root of a2 square plus b2 square plus c2 square. Next, shortest distance between two lines. Number 5. Shortest distance. Shortest distance between the lines. Suppose r vector is equal to r1 plus lambda u, and the another line r, the vector form r2 plus mu into v. The shortest distance d would become r2 minus r1 dot, very important, u cross v divided by the mod of u cross v. This is the shortest distance. Next, two lines will intersect the subpoint, the special case. Okay, the two lines will intersect. Two lines will intersect if d equal to 0. This is the condition. D equal to 0 means what? R2 minus R1 dot u cross v, this is equal to 0. And the Cartesian form, would become that the two lines x minus x1 by a1 is equal to y minus y1 divided by b1. This is equal to z minus z1 divided by c1. And the another one, x minus x2 by a2, y minus y2 divided by b2, z minus z2 divided by c2. So the shortest distance would become in the Cartesian form, in the denominator, square root of sum over a1 b2 minus a2 b1 whole square, and in the numerator, the determinant of x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1, a1 b1 c1, a2 b2 c2. Next topic, the plane. Number 1, vector equation. If n be a unit vector normal to the plane, p is the length of the perpendicular from its origin, so the plane equation would become r dot n cap is equal to p. R dot n cap is equal to p. This is the vector equation. N, unit vector normal to the plane, and p is what? The p is length of perpendicular from the origin to the plane. This one. This is the length p and the unit vector n cap. This is origin O. Okay. Number 2, the Cartesian form. The Cartesian form, suppose if the r vector is equal to xi plus yj plus zk, and the unit vector n li mj nk. Then Lx plus My plus Nz, this is P. Now, general equation of a plane. General equation. General equation is that Ax plus By plus Cz plus D equal to 0. Where ABC is what? Mind it. Where the A, B and the C are the direction ratio dr. And the P is here minus d by square root of a square plus b square plus c square. Okay. Equation of a plane passing through a given point. Next, number 4. Equation of a plane passing through a given point. This would be small here. First of all, the vector form. Two form is available. One is vector form, another is Cartesian form. Plane passing through the point R1 perpendicular to n cap. That means the vector form R vector minus R1 vector, because passing through the point R1 dot n cap, this is equal to 0. And the Cartesian form, would become, suppose the R1 is a point is defined by A into x1, y1, z1, and the direction ratio dr, that is the A, B and the C. Then the equation would become A into x minus x1 plus B into y minus y1 plus C into z minus z1, that is equal to 0. This is in the Cartesian form. Equation of a plane passing through 3 points. Number 5. Equation of plane passing through 3 points. This is, first of all, the vector form. Vector equation. That 3 point is R1, R2 and the R3. Okay. So the equation would become the box of R minus R1, R minus R2 and the R minus R3, that is equal to 0. And in the Cartesian form, that is, suppose A, x1, y1, z1, B, x2, y2, z2, C, x3, y3, zc. Then the equation would become, okay, the determinant of x minus x1, this is very important, x minus x1, y minus y1, z minus z1, x minus x2, y minus y2, z minus z2, x minus x3, y minus y3, z minus z3, that is equal to 0. This is the Cartesian equation passing through the 3 points x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2 and the x3, y3, z3. Next, what number? Number 6. Fine. Plane through two given point and parallel to a given vector. I write here. plane through two given point and parallel to a vector, that is vector form. 2 point R1 and R2 and parallel to the vector, that is the M. This will become R minus R1, okay, dot R2 minus R1 cross M. This should be 0. This is the vector form. And in the Cartesian form is very important. And in Cartesian form, suppose 2 point x1, y1, z1 and x2, y2, z, and parallel to the direction ratio dr, that is the a, b and the c. This will become then the determinant of x minus x1, y minus y1, z minus z1, x minus x2, y minus y2, z minus z2, a, b, c, that is equal to 0. Equation of a plane in intersect form. Number 7. Equation of a plane in intersect form. This is, suppose ABC is length of intersect with the x-axis, y-axis and the z-axis. Suppose this one. This is origin x, y and the z. Suppose this one is a plane. Intersect x-axis A, y-axis B, z-axis C. Then the equation would become x by A plus y by B plus z by C, that is equal to 1. In straight line, we write that x by A plus y by B equal to 1, intersect form of the straight line. But in the plane, z should be included here. Number 8. Angle between two planes. Angle between two planes. Angle theta between two planes, that is a1x plus b1y plus c1z plus d1 is 0, and the another a2x b2y c2z plus d2 equal to 0. Then the angle cos theta, that is the plus minus a1 a2 plus b1 b2 plus c1 c2 divided by a1 square b1 square plus c1 square into square root of a2 square b2 square plus c2 square. Parallel. If the condition a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2. Perpendicular. If the condition a1 a2 plus b1 b2 plus c1 c2, that is equal to 0. Next, angle between a line and a plane. Number 9. Angle between a line and plane. This is general equation of line x minus x1 by a1, y minus y1 by b1, z minus z1 by c1, and the plane a2x plus b2y plus c2z plus d equal to 0. One line, one plane. So the angle, the sine theta, would become what? That is equal to a1 a2 plus b1 b2 plus c1 c2 divided by the square root of a1 square plus b1 square plus c1 square into square root of a2 square plus b2 square plus c2 square. Next, the two conditions. Two conditions here, that line will be parallel. Line is parallel if and only if the a1 a2 plus b1 b2 plus c1 c2 that is equal to 0. Next is very important for JEE Advanced. Bisector of angle between two planes. Number 10. Bisector of the angle between two planes. Suppose two plane means the a1x plus b1y plus c1z plus d1 equal to 0. Another a2x plus b2y plus c2z plus d2 equal to 0. Two plane. Then the equation, the bisector equation would become that the a1x plus b1y plus c1z plus d1 divided by square root of a1 square plus b1 square plus c1 square, that is equal to plus minus second one a2x b2y c2z plus d2 divided by square root of a2 square b2 square plus c2 square. This will be the general equation. Next is very important. Distance of a point from a plane. Point from a plane. That is, suppose this is a plane. The distance, this one, A and the B. Basically the normal distance, okay. Suppose point x1, y1, z1 and the plane equation ax plus by plus cz plus d equal to 0. So the distance d would become modulus of the plane at this point, that the ax1 by1 plus cz1 plus d divided by square root of coefficient of the x, y and z. That means the square root of the direction ratio square, a1 square, sorry, a square, it would become the direction ratio abc here, okay. So it would become a square plus b square plus c square. This will be the distance. Next, number 12. That is plane passing through the intersecting of two planes. A plane passing through the intersection of two planes. That is, one plane a1x plus b1y plus c1z plus d1 plus some constant lambda into second plane a2x b2y plus c2z plus d2. This is equal to 0. One plane plus lambda into second plane, that is equal to 0. So we now complete here our chapter summary in a nutshell of the 4 important topics: three-dimensional geometry, basic concepts, straight line and the plane. Now we switched our lecture into the problem discussion sessions. So first problem is coming from JEE Main recent question 2022. If two straight lines whose direction cosine are given by the relation L plus M minus N equal to 0 and 3L square plus M square plus CNL equal to 0 are parallel, then the positive value of C is what? So first given equation, that is the L plus M minus N equal to 0. N would be what? L plus M. Now put the value of N in another equation. Next equation is what? CL square plus M square plus CNL. That's it. This is 0. Put this value. CL square plus M square plus CL. Put this value of N. L plus M. This is equal to 0. So it would become, or do yourself, C plus C L square CLM plus M square equal to 0, or C plus C L by M square plus C L by M plus 1 is equal to 0. Equation number 1. Given that lines are parallel, so root of the equation must be equal. The lines are parallel, that means the root of the equation be equal. That means the discriminant of the quadratic equation should be 0. That means, therefore, C square minus 4 into C plus C is vanish. C square minus 4C minus 12 equal to 0. C would get 6 and the minus 2. So here given the positive value. So C would be done and minus 2 cross. 6 would be the correct answer. Option A is correct. Next, go ahead. The second problem. Question number 2. Recent question, JEE Main 2024. Says that let D, the distance of the point of intersection of the line from the point 789, then D square plus 6 is equal to what? Okay. So the given line, first line, that the x plus 6 divided by c equal to y by 2 equal to z plus 1 by 1, that is lambda, equation 1. And the next, x minus 7 divided by 4 equal to y minus 9 by 3 is equal to z minus 4 by 2. This is equal to mu. Equation 2. From equation 1 we get x equal to 3 lambda minus 6, y equal to twice lambda, and z lambda minus 1. Any point on equation, any point on equation 1 that what? 3 lambda minus 6, comma 2 lambda, comma lambda minus 1. This point. So from equation 2 we get x equal to what? 4 mu plus 7, y equal to 3 mu plus 9, and the z equal to 2 mu plus 4. So point would become what? 4 mu plus 7, comma 3 mu plus 9, comma 2 mu plus 4. These are 2 points. For point of intersection, the condition for point of intersection, the condition that the 3 lambda minus 6 is equal to 4 mu plus 7, that imply 3 lambda minus 4 mu equal to 13, equation 3. And second condition, 2 lambda equal to 3 mu plus 9. So 2 lambda or minus 3 mu equal to 9, equation 4. On solving equation 3 and 4, we would get lambda equal to 3, mu equal to minus 1. So the point of intersection would become point of intersection 3, 6 and the 2, and the distance between the point 3, 6, 2 and 7, 8, 9. That is the d equal to square root of 16 plus 4 plus 49, root 69. So therefore, we have to find the d square plus 6 equal to d square means 69 plus 6. That would become 75. 75 would be a correct answer. Option D is correct. Next, go at our third problem. JEE Advanced 2020. Let L1 and L2 be the following straight line given. Line in the plane containing L1 and L2 and passes through the point of intersection of L1 and L2. If the line L bisects the acute angle between the line L1 and L2, then which one of the following statement is or are true? I think this is a question of MSQ, multiple select questions. That means one or more than one answers are be the correct. MSQ. So very serious. Two line is given. This one, L1, L2. So having vector form respectively here, two line vector form, that is R is equal to I plus J plus lambda I minus J plus 3K. This is one. And for second, this is the I plus K vector equation plus lambda into minus 3I minus J plus K. Now, the I minus J plus 3K dot minus 3I minus J plus K, that is what? Minus 3 plus 1 plus 3. That is 1 is positive, means greater than 0. So angle between supporting line vectors of line L1 and L2 is acute. and point of intersection of the given line L1 L2 is point of intersection of the given line is what? 1, 0, 1. Now vector along the acute angle bisector of the vector I minus j plus 3k and minus 3i minus j plus k is what? The bisector. Bisector of the vector, this would become the minus I minus j plus 2i square. Or another form would maybe happen that I plus j minus 2i square. It is given that the line L, that is the x minus alpha by L, equal to y minus 1 by m, that is equal to z minus gamma by minus 2 is the bisector of the acute angle between the line L1 and L2. L1 and L2 bisector. That means the L equal to 1 and the m equal to 1. Put this value here, or 1 minus alpha by 1 equal to 0 minus 1 by 1, that is equal to 1 minus gamma by minus 2. Or you would get the alpha value 2 and the gamma value minus 1. So alpha minus gamma equal to what? 3. So the L plus m value should be what? L plus m value would be 2. So option A is correct. Alpha minus gamma equal to 3. 1 is correct. Next is L plus m, that is equal to 2. So A and B, two options are correct. A and B. Next questions, go ahead. Question number 4. Recent questions, JEE Main 2023. If the equation of plane containing the line x plus 2y plus 3z minus 4 equal to 0 is equal to 2x plus y minus z plus 5 and perpendicular to the plane r equal to I minus j plus lambda into I plus j plus k plus mu into I minus 2j plus 3k is ax plus by plus cz equal to 4, and then you have to find the value of the a minus b plus c is equal to what? Try yourself first, read out the question carefully, and after just look upon my board for the solution. Here, the given equation x plus 2y plus 3z minus 4, this is equal to 0, equation number 1. Next, 2x plus y minus z plus 5 equal to 0, equation number 2. So equation of plane containing line of intersection of plane A and 1 and 2, this is given the one plane x plus 2y is y plus thrice z minus 4 plus some constant lambda into 2x plus y minus z plus 5 equal to 0. Or it should become 1 plus 2 lambda into x, 2 plus lambda into y, 3 minus lambda into z plus 5 lambda minus 4 equal to 0. This is the equation C, which is perpendicular to, given that, which is perpendicular to the vector r that is I minus j plus lambda into, this is given, I plus j plus k plus mu into I minus twice j plus thrice k. This is equation number 4. Now we have to calculate normal to the plane 4. Normal to the plane 4 equation, that is the determinant value I, j, k. Component 1, 1, 1, 1, minus 2, 3. It would become 5y after simplification minus 2j minus thrice k. This is the equation number 5. So plane 3, 4 and 5 are perpendicular. That means equation 3, 4 and the 5 are perpendicular. That means, or that is, the 5 into 1 plus 2 lambda minus 2 into 2 plus lambda minus 3 into 3 minus lambda, this is equal to 0. Or you will get the value of the lambda, that is 8 by 11. So the equation of plane would become what? Put this value of here, 27 by 11x plus 30 by 11y plus 25 by 11z minus 4 by 11 equal to 0. That means here it would become 27x plus 30y plus 25z. This would be equal to 4. On comparing with, just compare with the equation ax plus by plus cz, that is equal to 4. You would get the value of the a 27 and the b is 30 and c is what? 25. Hence, therefore, a minus b plus c would become 27 minus 30 plus 25. 22 would be our correct answers. Option D is correct. 22. Last question. Today's last questions. JEE Main 2023 NAT. Numerical answer type questions. Let the line L, that is x equal to 1 minus y by minus 2, z minus 3 by lambda. Lambda belongs to R, meet the plane P such that x plus 2y plus 3z equal to 4 at the point alpha beta gamma. If the angle between the line and the plane is cos inverse square root of 5 by 14, then alpha plus twice beta plus 6 gamma is equal to what? That question is very dangerous because the calculation should be done very carefully. NAT and MSQ. These two are more selections questions for your JEE Main and Advanced. Selective questions, because the more you select and have done these questions, you have got select into the JEE Main and Advanced. This is the turning point, basically the NAT and MSQ. MSQ is more. So you have to write this just integer value of the fill in the blanks. Here is given that line and the plane suppose meet alpha beta gamma point. Suppose the angle between the line and the plane be the theta. Then the value of the sin theta is what? N1 dead n2 divided by mod n1 mod n2. N1 is Normal vector of plane n1 is what? N1 is basically vector. Okay. This is what? I plus twice j by this equation plus thrice k. Equation means the by this plane. And the n2, that is the I plus twice j plus lambda k. This is the two normal vector. So sin theta would become what? Sin theta calculate. You would get 3 by square root of 14. That is 1 plus 4 plus 3 lambda divided by square root of 14 into square root of lambda square plus 5. So by the triangle, that is, here this is 3, this is root 5, so that the hypotenuse would become root 14, or 9 by 14 by the triangle, that would become what? 5 plus 3 lambda whole square divided by 14 into lambda square plus 5. Calculate this one. Or 9 lambda square plus 45. This would become 25 plus 9 lambda square plus 30 lambda. Or you would get 30 lambda equal to 20, or lambda equal to what? 2/3. Then the L line, that is the x equal to, put this value here, y minus 1 by 2, that is equal to z minus 3 by, put this lambda value, 2/3, that is equal to some constant. Okay. So any point of the line, any point on the line should be what? Constant k, 2k plus 1, twice k by third, twice k by 3 plus 3. This is any point on the line. This will be satisfy of the plane equation. That means, therefore, k plus twice k plus 1 plus thrice twice k by 3 plus 3. 3 plus k, sorry, this would become k. So this would become 4. Solve this, or after solution, this would become 7k plus 11. This is nothing but 4. So k equal to what? K equal to minus 1. So put this value, the point you would get, point of intersection. Put this value of k, you would get the point. That thus the point of intersection is, thus the point of intersection. So what? Minus 1, 7 by 3. So you would get the value of the alpha, minus 1, beta, minus 1, and the gamma, 7 by 3. So the alpha plus twice beta plus 6 gamma, put this value, minus 1, minus 2 plus 14, you would get 11. Hence, the alpha plus twice beta plus 6 gamma would be 11. 11 would be our correct answers. In the fill in the blanks, you have to write 11. So, we now discuss 5 important questions coming from the JEE Main and Advanced. And basically, I usually give you the another 5 important questions for your better practice, concept and understanding. You pause this video and take a screenshot quickly. Finally, we cover here the 10 important questions coming from the JEE Main and Advanced Mathematics. And I think after the solution of the all problems, basically the 10 questions, you will be able to solve the any other questions coming from this topic, the three-dimensional geometry, straight line and the plane. And I think it will be very useful to you. Okay. So let's in a contact section, we solve this homework, and if anyone needs this file or my study material of the YouTube lecture, just mail without no hesitation with this ID cat Schrödinger's 1935 @gmail.com. Basically, the Schrödinger's cat is an advanced physics experiment done by 1935. Okay, with this mail ID. And suppose we have the rest 3 chapters, 3 topics, such that the probability, statistics and the logarithms. Okay, statistics from class 12, probability both the 11 and the 12, and the logarithm from class 11. And I think after covering the 3 topics, we will be able to solve and complete our full mathematics series from the 11 and 12. And I think after we just now switch our lecture for the CSIR NET Physical Science. Okay. Thank you very much. Stay well and happy. Have a nice day.